Apply today. For more information, including scholarship opportunities, visit teachbelize.org.
Introducing Travelers Liquors Belizean Rum. From the Jaguar's Roar to the Deep Blue Hole, we have captured the essence of Belize.
My Belizean, for Belizean.
Yes, life does have its perks.
We come out to party, early Jubilee.
De beliceños para beliceños.
We reap from a bountiful land and celebrate with a cup of Belizean in our hand. So when that moment comes, make sure you pass the Belizean rum.
Haduga balisina, hong balisina.
And welcome back. And we are moving into our second conversation this morning, a very important one, as we talk about the celebration or the commemoration, that is, of World Diabetes Day. That comes up on November 14th, and there are a number of activities to be able to remind us about the importance of taking care of our health. We have with us on set two representatives of the Belize Diabetes Association. We have Treasurer Linette Valerio, and we have Assistant Treasurer Ronald Stuart. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here. So, diabetes, definitely something, or sugar as people call it in Belize.
Yeah.
And, you know, we have been speaking with the Diabetes Association, Kidney Association, Ministry of Health, Cancer Society, numerous agencies about how this is a growing concern for our country. Tell us about the Belize Diabetes Association's role in assessing the problem and educating on it as well.
We continue to speak to the public. This is one opportunity that we take, and we are happy to be able to have that forum, or this forum, to do so. We speak to employers and employee groups by arrangement, whether they contact us or we contact them, because the productive workforce helps to build the wealth of the nation. Mm-hmm. And in order for us to maximize that, we have to have healthy individuals. Mm-hmm. And so we need to get people to understand that a healthy lifestyle is not unreachable, or if you have a compromised if your health is compromised, for you to be able to look at ways and you do things or make choices that will be beneficial. And so it's important for us as individuals, as groups, and the wider community, the nation as a whole, to look at the choices that we make several times a day. And that includes nutrition, not diet, what we eat, how much we eat, and how often we eat, so that we could maximize that. And so it's getting persons to understand that we could make those choices and be able to live a healthy lifestyle, or to stave off the onset of any of the non-communicable diseases as diabetes is.
This is definitely a topic that hits home for a lot of people, because nearly in every household, somebody has lost, they've lost somebody from diabetes. This is definitely something that we need to jump on with much more than a song. Reason why I'm saying this is because back in the day, it used to be because of probably too much ground food, or probably too much fever grass with too much sugar.
Yeah.
Today's day and age, we're seeing people standing on the corner of schools actually selling cotton candy, Tan Brand sweets, and these are the things that kids are actually venturing off into. And as much as you tell your child, now go buy that, he or she will eventually venture off into it, because they spend a lot of time with those kids that they are with, and they will eventually buy. You take away the money, it's like you're putting them in another space. So what are we going to do now that the country and the region is actually sticking to that stone?
Well, John, when you look at our attitudes, and that is what informs our behavior, that in so many instances, we need to not look at the current situation. We need to look at where it began. Our attitudes towards nutrition on a whole, starting from infancy. The fact that if you engage in breastfeeding and exclusive breastfeeding, how much it promotes better health. And the adults, the parents, are responsible to ensure that you set the environment so that even when your child or children are out in the public space, that they are aware. So you have to practice it at home, and then you continue it wherever you go. And those instances where temptations may come, you remember, well, what am I doing this for? Is it just for the taste, or is it for nutrition?
That's a very good one.
Now, I know that the Diabetes Association works extensively in education and awareness. And it's so important for us to remind people how you develop diabetes. And so let's take the opportunity, because there is the very common misconception that, you eat too much sugar, that's why you don't get diabetes. But it's much more than that. So Linette, why don't we talk about some of the reasons why people would develop either diabetes type 1 or 2?
Very good, Marlene. Yeah, a lot of times, like what Stuart was saying, it's all started at home. And we need to take a conscious knowledge of what type of things that we're consuming in the home.
Yeah.
For example, John mentioned too much of this. Yeah. Persons who are living with diabetes, for example, they can eat anything, but it's portion. It's the portion size. And the nutrition will tell you how much size you're supposed to eat. But for a person to know whether you have diabetes or how you can acquire diabetes, persons who are obese, overweight, they are at risk for diabetes. Persons who are living with high blood pressure, hypertension, they are at risk. Persons who have family of diabetes, your grandparents, your parents, brothers and sisters living with diabetes, you are at risk. Yeah. And many of us, we have family members, parents, sisters, brothers, mother, people who are living with diabetes, you are at risk. You are obese or overweight, you are at risk. Yeah. You're living with high blood pressure, you're prone to get diabetes. Yeah. But it's up to you. Yeah. It's your lifestyle, for you. Yeah. So if you tick mark any of those things, you can acquire diabetes. It depends on you. You can delay the onset by eating healthy, by exercising, by taking cognizant knowledge of what you consume and how you live your lifestyle. And once you have note of that, diabetes may not come on maybe until you're in your 70s, maybe 80s, or later on. But if you have one of those things tick, and you are still continue living and eating what you're eating, not exercising, not be cognizant of all these other factors, even stress can contribute to that. Wow. Then if you don't take measures, diabetes may come within the next couple of years, 5 years, or slowly, sooner than you expected.
We're talking about two areas here, and I think you're so right. It's all lifestyle that leads to diabetes type 2. Type 1, they're born with. Yeah. But we also know that maintenance is a struggle. So you get people to the point of diagnosing. You get people to the point of starting off with a diet because they're pre-diabetic or recently diagnosed. But it's maintaining that over time. That is, I mean, we all know diabetics who we see eating very large slice of cake, and you're like, what are you doing?
And hence the reason why, in our case, Linette and I are supporters in the sense that we are not living with diabetes.
Correct.
But it's very important for persons who are living with the condition, whether they are relatives, they are work colleagues, people in our sphere of influence, to understand that you could get that sort of support by simply making those choices where you say, the choices that I make may influence that or those persons. And it's for us to look at what we're doing, the choices that we make. It's not a situation where we have to do what everybody else is doing. It's like I go out and socialize, I don't drink. I could, or if I do very minimal, I'll dance now. But the whole thing about it is that what we do will impact. There are instances when people say, "Oh, that one get me drunk." I said, "Who swallowed?" You know, so similarly, but I was just reading an article just now where it was talking about meeting people where they are. It's not to pontificate. It's not to tell a person, "Well, you should have did it." No, it's say, "Where are you?" And engage in a conversation. I do on a regular basis when I go to get my haircut. I talk with my barber after reading an article about what a doctor started with primarily black men in New York, getting them to get their blood pressure checked. So I have started that conversation and encouraged him to. And he said, "Man, there are things that people share with you when they're here alone." So I introduced that subject and helped on a whole that we could use those opportunities to ensure that it is being used wisely and look at the multiplier effect. I have a conversation with him, he have with others, and then it spreads out from there. And so it's for us to look at any opportunity that we could make a difference, because I might not be living with the condition, but there are friends who are, and their well-being is important to me, because you have that interaction that you have. So it's for us to do that and then look at the community, how the community could support the work that we do. And hence the reason why the two main fundraising activity that we have during this period is the Diabetes Walk, which comes up this Saturday. We leave, the bus takes the participants up to Crystal Auto Rental at mile 5 on the Philip Golson Highway. And we have the ride this year will be from Santa Elena, Cayo, to Belize City, with stops at Roaring Creek at the gas station. We stop at Amigos and at Hattieville, and then we ride into Belize City, ending at ITVET. And what we do, we are selling T-shirts for the walk. So we invite persons to place orders with our office. Our office is located at the corner of Mahogany Street and Central American Boulevard. And it's a way of continuing the work that we do. Because we reach out to business places, we reach out to schools, and in some instances, schools would not be in a position maybe to give some contribution, but there are sponsors to the association who, in a sense, help to supplement what we earn from the sale of strips and related supplies. And to let it look, you know, there are persons who think that I don't have the condition, so that it doesn't mean anything to me. But one of the things that my approach is that in order for us to maintain a healthy, or for us to maintain our health, we need to practice a healthy lifestyle. Proper nutrition. I liked the segment that you had yesterday with the nutritionist. But even before that, as I was mentioning before, the attitudes that we have from childhood, providing that environment where we make those choices that are healthy, and we continue through the life cycle. There was a quote I came across that said, "You cannot live your entire life for the rest of your life on a diet, so practice good nutrition." And I look at it that, you know, many times, and as I said before, reach people where they are. We don't you don't become obese or overweight overnight. It's a gradual process, choices that we make day to day. And so you may notice it and you tell persons, listen, you might be feeling healthy. No, like hypertension, diabetes develops and you don't really know.
Yeah.
One of the first things that we will encourage persons is to be aware of their family health history. Have there been any incidents of that sort? And make your choices along that line. Get a screening or you do a health
And
checkup.
there's so many opportunities for screenings. Every health fair has a blood sugar test.
yes.
And also, the Diabetes Association, as part of our ongoing awareness, we want businesses to ask us to come and make presentations for them.
Yeah.
We could come in, make a presentation, and do free blood testing. We're available for them to just give us a call and come and do that. Yeah.
Now, a part of what is established for diabetes, World Diabetes Day, and you're celebrating for most of this month as well, is exercise-related activities. So it seems to be, obviously, a part of the conversation that exercise helps as a preventative tool, but also it is also very essential for people who are living with diabetes.
For maintenance and management. The four components of a healthy lifestyle is nutrition, exercise, and it doesn't have to mean you have to be in a gym. You could be walking, chores around the house, and so on. It depends on where you are and your health status. I made a personal choice 4 years ago that, listen, I was obese and I changed that. And some people would say, you lose some amount of weight, I wonder. And I said, no. I said, it's just that, listen, I looked at it, I said, I have seen the effects that persons are living with. And so to avoid that, and also to spread the word to those who may not have developed the condition, it is to do so. Also, you drink adequate amounts of water and sleep. So those are the four components to healthy living. And there are so many occasions that we've had presentations from doctors who do monthly, when we meet monthly, the third Saturday in every month, we have meetings where our members come together, and a free consultation, in essence, takes place, where a presentation is made and all questions related to a person's experience living with diabetes or related matters comes up. And you don't have to pay it. If the persons who provide it don't charge us. So it's by extension work that they're getting the message out. And we need to realize that the health of ourselves and how it impacts the family. And while the theme this year is Women and Diabetes, our right to a healthy future. So one person asked, well, why is it that you're only focusing on women? No, but the fact is, when women's health is affected, it affects the entire family and community.
I was about to ask that question. I wanted to get Linette's perspective here on that. Obviously, when you focus on diabetes, specifically with one gender, it gives the impression that women are more at risk. Is that the case?
Not necessarily. I think the whole focus is women, because many times in the homes, it is the women, the mothers, who actually do a lot of the cooking, the purchases, and also set the tone for the family and the children. You know, she's the one who would usually prepare the lunch basket for the children to take, for school, are the ones who would actually take the time out, in most cases, to prepare the meals for the day. And so when the focus is on women, we feel that us as women, we have a much more partake and in going into preparation. And we set the tone for that. Whether it's exercising, ensuring that our children participate in exercises, do chores around the house, take care of other family members, and be that supportive. And once we have that as a part of the nurturing process, it also feeds down into the children. And if the children learn that this is the type of food we need to eat, if the children learn these different type of activities that needs to take place in their development, then possibility when they become adults, they will take on those same type of nurturing for their children and the children that comes after that.
You know, this one hits home for me. Reason being is because I lost both of my grandmothers to diabetes. So I know for a fact that my risk factor is like,
Exactly.
it's up there. So I pride myself in making sure that I go out to exercise. Now, one of the things that we made mention of is consuming a lot of water. But at the same time, signs and symptoms of one having diabetes is using the restroom quite often. So I've heard of folks saying, you know what, I don't want to drink a lot of water because I'm so afraid to go to the bathroom so often. Then again, it might strike me as, oh my goodness, I've got diabetes. What are signs and symptoms of diabetes?
Well, certainly, in some instances, it varies from person to person, but you'd have weight loss because understanding what happens when one develops diabetes is because the pancreas that makes the hormone insulin it's either deficient or what it's producing is not enough or it cannot be used. So what the body does is to start consuming all the stored sources of energy in the body. It starts with the fats. And when it's depleted, that stored, it starts consuming muscle, including your heart.
So it's usually a rapid weight loss, right?
Not necessarily as well, like you said, for different person it varies, but maybe symptoms of frequent urination, yes.
One.
Frequent thirst is also one. And you can also see different changes in your body because diabetes will not just come on one day. If you notice that over time, your vision is getting blurry, for example, and something's happening, then you're like, something is not right here. You know your bodies. So you start to recognize when there are changes in that body. And there's a simple, easy test, John. Our offices are open every day from 9 o'clock until 5. You can come in and say, I'd like to do a test. And it's a simple pre-screening, and then you go from there.
Right at the corner of Mahogany and Central American Boulevard, near the stoplight, near the roundabout.
Yeah.
Can we talk about, I think we need to be able to highlight how serious the situation is. We do have children developing type 2 diabetes. We have, at one point, I believe it was 14%, but that was a couple years ago. I don't know what the numbers are today.
It's all an estimate because we get that information from the Diabetes Atlas, which is a part of a publication that comes from the International Diabetes Federation, which we're affiliated with. And the Congress, which Val will be participating in, comes up in December. They're traveling to Abu Dhabi.
Wow.
But, it's one of those things that you have to let people be aware that it starts with your attitude. I have spoken to parents who have said, oh, my children don't like to eat vegetables.
Or they talk about, they're going through a chunky phase, which, yes, I don't believe in pressuring children about weight, but if you know they're eating poorly and becoming obese, then you're contributing to potential health problems. And diabetes-related deaths have been one of the leading causes of death in this country for years. People die because they don't take care of their diabetes.
Not only in the country, but in the world. In the International Diabetes Federation Atlas of the World states that if you were to put everybody in the whole world together, every 6 seconds, one person will die from diabetes or its complication. Every 6 seconds.
It affects an organ and that organ fails and then they die.
Because it affects every single cell within the body. And hence the reason why I've been mentioning attitudes so much. Again, another article that I was reading, starting at breastfeeding. If a mother perceives that a father is not supportive of breastfeeding, she will only breastfeed 26% of the times. Where a father is supported, it's 98% of the time that they breastfeed. And so when we need to sustain
is the best
breastfeeding together in the workplace for the benefit of the family, so you put these interventions or you put these programs in place where you have these choices, you put the information out so people are aware of the choices that you save on the longer run because I think it was maybe 3-4 years ago, the Ministry of Health released a statistic on the care of 13 persons who are receiving hemodialysis. Now that's in stage. 13 person, it costs the Ministry of Health $1 million.
Wow.
So just imagine if you could have put that sort of money into education.
Yeah.
So we still need to do it because it's a issue that we are grappling with across the world.
We have people
And
waiting on the list for dialysis and ultimately waiting for someone to pass. so
Yeah,
that they
but
can get on it.
dialysis, like we said, is the end stage. So if we become cognizant of our lifestyle and the choices that we make, we can delay or even prevent that end stage. And so part of our awareness, we have the fundraising event that we talk about, the Ride Out Diabetes. And we want people to support that and be cognizant of diabetes. So that is scheduled
The 12th, which is a Sunday.
Yeah.
And this year will be the 9th ride that we're having.
Wow.
And exercise is a part of that. When people hear ride, they think race. I say no.
No.
You don't have to be a professional. And what we like, it's a partnership with Ordonez Bike Shop
Yes.
from the very inception. It's a idea came from our Vice President, Sharon Fraser, where he said, let's do this so that we could look at how we could get funds into the association from the wider community and at the same time bring awareness through the activity. And I always tell people, I said, listen, I have ridden several times. And the very first year when I did, those guys came and if they had to push you over a hump, and then you can make us.
You can ride what you can in
Right.
your ride. I think that's it.
And the whole idea is nothing is impossible if you say you can.
But let's talk about how this contribute funds, because we don't want to miss the opportunity. You have two main activities coming up. You have the walk that takes place on Saturday. Purchasing the t-shirts is important because that's how you get your funds. So while you may want to wear your fancy exercise shirt, that's fine, but still purchase the t-shirts because that's how you're contributing towards the cause. And then the ride. So talk to us about the details of registering and how you help to raise funds through that.
For the registration, we charge $25 for servicing and assistance during the ride. And we also provide refreshments. And at the end of the ride, there is lunch that is served. So when we arrive at IT Vet Compound, which normally it's about midday. That is served then. So it's for everybody to understand, it's not just to jump into the ride. Because there are persons who would want to, or who have, but they don't want to pay the registration. And so it's, you come up with things, all right, you have to put on a wristband and identify who's who and so, but we don't really want that. And more so the fact that you might just be looking at that as an activity for that day, but it's what it represents for the wider community, because so many people have this attitude, again, comes back to attitude, well, I don't have diabetes, so important, I don't have to give. I say, but what happens when somebody is affected, or you could become a person who develops the condition, and then your attitude changes. So it's to make the contribution and assist those who may be living with a condition, or to encourage others to adopt a preventative lifestyle where that will not.
So we have the walk and the ride. Linette, is there anything else taking place for the period of time that we're promoting?
Yes, of course. During next week, we will be going to several schools, primary schools and some high schools, to do presentation and do some more awareness. We also will be visiting some companies to also have some testing and some more promotional and awareness of this condition. And it's very important that we instill in them it's a discipline for those of us who have family members who are living with diabetes, and those of us who are at risk. It's very important for us to be disciplined, to ensure that we eat properly, to ensure that we exercise. You don't have to go to a gym like what Ronald said. Just taking a walk, brisk walk on your streets in your neighborhood, or go to the Marion Jones Stadium and just do some laps or walk, something.
Half an hour a day.
Half an hour.
Minimum 5 days a week.
Consistently. Consistently. And it just has to instill in their minds. It has to be part of your routine, your daily routine. Just carve out 45 minutes every day at least 5 days a week, and let that be part of your lifestyle.
And you know, it's very healthy. You're going out there, you meet friends. So this is definitely a way for you to network. You're actually breathing in fresh air. So these are very good ways how you could prevent this. But it's shocking and alarming the amount of people that, like you mentioned, if the world would come together every 6 seconds,
Somebody dies from
diabetes.
or its complication, like kidney disease or some other complication.
Losing your sight and so on. The last activity for the period, which is on the date itself, the 14th, we'll have a health fair out at the Battlefield Park, where several partners will be there to participate.
And you can get your sugar tested, which is important. So, we hope that people have heard the message, and we hope that people will try to make healthier choices and also support the Belize Diabetes Association and those living with diabetes at the walk this Saturday and the ride, which takes place the following weekend, right? And if you want to drop into the Belize Diabetes Association, it is
corner Mahogany Street and Central American Boulevard.
And there's a phone number?
Telephone number is 203-3333. Very easy to remember. And if you want to contact us by cell phone, it's 667-9239.
Okay.
Excellent.
All right. And World Diabetes Day takes place on November 14th. And you will have your health fair then in Belize City at the Battlefield Park. Thank you so much for stopping in. We appreciate it. And best of luck with the walk this weekend and the ride next week.
And if you can't come join us, stay.
It's early. It's 5:30, right? That you take
6 o'clock that we move off.
6 a.m. that you move off from Crystal Auto Rental on the Northern Highway. All right. Good. And your ride leaves from San Ignacio.
Right. 6 o'clock.
Okay. There you go.
Sunday.
All the details you need. Get up, get out, do some exercise, and maybe you like it and you keep on doing it. All right. So we got to go ahead and take that break now. When we come back, it's for a Throwback Thursday segment with Tuck's Fried Chickens. So stay tuned.